Well, about 16 hours has passed. In fact, it's the next morning. And this has been under pressure now. And I think it's probably about as good as it's going to get. Well, I plugged in the toaster oven about an hour ago, and I wanted it to stabilize. I wanted to make sure that it's not too hot or too cold. And as it looks like, it's just about just right. It's right around 200 degrees. They recommend 180 to 200. So I don't want it to go over boiling, which would be like 212, because if there's moisture inside the blanks, it's going to force the cactus juice out. And of course, then the whole process is kind of spoiled. But anyway, I think we could take a look in here and see what it looks like. See if maybe I spilt it when I went back and forth like this a little bit. You might have noticed yesterday when I was tightening this up, I kind of rocked it a little, but I rocked it very little. Anyway, let's have a little peek here. At least there's not cactus juice coming out of this little hole. Oh, the reason that it comes out so slowly is because I filled this little fitting with solder, and then I drilled a little tiny hole about probably a 32nd of an inch in there. The reason being is so that when I put the coupler on and have the air go shooting in there, it doesn't go rushing in and spill whatever's in there, because it would. Anyway, see if I can do it by hand here and not have to use a wrench. I'm going to have to use the wrench. And you're going to say that this has been set up, this scene, because how come the wrench is the right size? It's because I haven't used this wrench since the last time I used it on this, about a week ago or two. Now it seems it's harder to loosen this than it is to tighten it. I've got a theory for that. And the theory is that after the air pressure comes on, it sort of forces this little O-ring here against the sides of the inside walls of the cylinder, and it sort of jams a little bit, whereas I don't have that when I'm putting it on. It's still in there. Let's have a little check here and see how far would I have to tip it to spill. Not all that far. Now I know I've mentioned this before, but this wax paper that you see on here, that was free. It's from the inside of a cereal box. You know, so next time you go to throw out your cornflakes box, or in my case All Bran, well, there you go. Now this is not rocket science. You just roll it so that it sort of winds itself up tight around the blank. Tries to keep the cactus juice in and fold up the ends a little bit, nice and tight. The idea is you don't want the cactus juice running out of your blank. And here's the one with that crack. I hope that stays in there. Now what's going to happen here is that the heat from that toaster oven is going to cause the cactus juice in the blanks to cure, harden. It'll be like a clear acrylic sort of, well, you're going to see. And yeah, it just stabilizes the wood, especially soft, punky wood like this. These pieces of the old Blue Goose, they're not much harder than soft balsa. And my homemade timer here. Now what I'm going to do here is I'm going to leave this in the toaster oven for at least an hour, maybe an hour and a half. Well, the time got away on me. I got really sidetracked here. And we're at about 2 hours and 20 minutes. So it's going to be interesting to see if I've overdone it. Now, where's the one that had the crack? This one. Well, I think it's probably going to be sealed. I'll soon know once I start turning the ends down. Alrighty, let's see what we can do with this now. Now you can see that on this side of the blanks, the aqua colored paint stayed on pretty good. Whereas on the other side, you might say it's a little bit on the scruffy side. And now what I am planning on doing is after I turn the ends down, I'm going to use polyurethane to sort of seal this. These are going to be really ugly pens. Now in a previous series I had mentioned how I don't feel that it's important to get the hole drilled dead center down the blank if you're going to be turning the blank down a lot anyway. However, in this case, most of it I'm not going to be turning down, so I want the hole to go right down the center as best as possible. Now you're going to notice in a couple of seconds here when I drop the brass tube into the hole. It doesn't drop down like it normally does. It's not a tight fit, it's not even a snug fit, but it's not the loose fit that I like when I'm using CA glue. I've found that if there's a bit of a snug fit going on, the CA glue can all of a sudden set up on you before you're ready. And I guess we'll find out how it's going to go tomorrow, because that's it for this episode. Thank you for watching.